networking, talking. I want to go to a house now, look at it, shake hands, kiss babies. My assistant's going to sit down and do the paperwork with you, or she's going to send it over. I'm out. I used to think that was so unachievable. It's so smart. It's so smart. Is your physician, doing all of the paperwork and all the background stuff? They're not. Why should you? Just saying.
Just saying. I like that.
You still should know the procedures and the processes and all of that, have a grasp on it. Because right. I think, that's super important, but then you're quickly going to realize that all of that can also kind of get you stuck in the mud. So,
yeah, I feel like the first year is like learning all that stuff to have an overview and then figuring out what you're good at.
Yeah, I remember someone told me, and it was a Keller Williams, it's that, there are those that love to learn, and you will see them at every training, everything, and they're not selling houses. Yeah. Because we were attracted to that and not actually doing. I have to be careful with that because I love training. I love all of that, but then it's to put it into action. So, we have a lot of things to talk about, but one of the questions that was posted somewhere, and I want everyone to see if they can answer this, because everyone's going to be different and everyone's coming from a different place. But what causes you the most stress right now in real estate?
It's good.
Lack of inventory.
Okay. So your lack of inventory. Anyone else want to pipe in? I want to really hear from every one of you, because every one of you is going to have, I think, a different answer.
Contracts.
Unstable income.
Unstable income. Yep. For sure.
Just getting someone to turn into a client, making connections, but then actually making them turn into a client.
Okay.
I'd say the competition out there right now. I've talked to a lot of people that have realtors knocking on their door.
Yep. Who else?
I would say for me, it's like everything, but
honest.
Zach, who just got her license, everyone.
Yay.
Like a week and a half ago. So, I mean, I guess we've all been there. So, I mean, I really am like just faking
overwhelmed.
it. Yeah, overwhelmed. Yeah. But I haven't gotten login to MLS yet. So like, I don't even know what that looks like to you guys. Like, I don't really know what it entails, like the resources that are available to me from that and how to utilize all those tools within there. Like I literally should be getting my MLS login by the end of today. So, but I don't know like what even that means and what that looks like. So I think that that's stressful. I've been learning Command with Lindsay lately, doing some one-on-ones, which were really great. But the MLS, like I'm signed up for a webinar.
We're going to touch on the MLS resources today.
Yay.
Oh.
So we'll help you with that.
Awesome.
I think with me it's all the Zoom call meetings, and you don't want to miss out on everything. So trying to put everything in perspective.
Okay.
With, I got a meeting. I want to get in there, but I got a meeting over here. But, trying to learn everything so you can put it together and know what you're talking about with the clients and customers out here.
Yep.
So setting a schedule is hard.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's why I love the YouTube channel.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Boy, they're playing right into everything today, aren't they, Janine?
No, I love it because everyone is going to have, it's, who hasn't talked yet? Who hasn't spoken?
I was going to say, Janine, I think it's the clients, and if they want, to buy or not to buy, they're kind of on the fence right now.
Okay, yep.
I can honestly say for me, it is getting that first client.
Yep.
Lucian, don't do that.
Yep.
I think another hard thing is, I am an older person. I'm not young and technical, just
not.
like you, Janine. And you know, the YouTube channel is great, but I don't necessarily learn great that way because I have to like stop it and jump over to the, you know, where I'm trying to learn it from my screen and go back and rewind. So it takes me like 3 hours to do like 2 things. I'm much more of in-person, in-class, hands-on person. So I miss being together with people.
So are you using your laptop?
Yeah.
Okay, so someone just
Hello?
came over to my house on my team, and they have a laptop, but then they have
Okay, so I'm trying to, I don't got an interstate, so the map she sent me.
I think she's
Deb?
on the phone.
yes, it's on the phone.
So would I go like straight up there?
Deborah,
Aha, she got it.
there you go. Oh, now we're all muted. Janine, come back.
Hello. All right.
Hello.
Okay, wait, did someone say something?
Oh, Deborah, I think we can hear you on the phone.
Okay,
Sorry.
There's actually a mute. There you go.
Oh, so someone came over, and this is how technically stupid I am. She brought over like an attachment to her laptop for another screen.
Uh-huh.
So I thought that was great. She was showing me some things on her screen, but then she could move it over to the other screen. And I thought, this is brilliant. Because then you could have like your training video on one screen, and then you could actually be trying it on the other screen. I don't know.
I do. I get lost in the jumping back and forth sometimes.
Yeah, same. Okay, so technical things, you know, not being in person to have help. That's a good one.
Mhm.
Who else? It's got to be more. So what causes you the most stress in real estate if you've just jumped on?
Can I go?
Yeah.
Unrealistic sellers.
Oh, thinking they can get the highest price right now?
Oh, millions.
Yeah. It's a $300,000 home, but low inventory. So this goes for $1 million today.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Well, for me, I think it's contracts. I had a listing appointment fall on my lap on Tuesday morning, and
Yay.
then I was panicking, trying to figure out, I couldn't even remember where to go to print out a listing agreement. So I finally figured out it was zip forms. It was pretty stressful.
Yeah.
It's my fault, because there's plenty of classes I could be taking and practicing with people sending dummy forms over. But that's, for me, that's absolutely the most stressful part, is the contracts part.
And somebody else just chimed in via chat. Same thing. Contracts stress me out. They stress me out to a very high degree when I first started. Because, okay, let's talk about it. First of all, it's a legal contract.
Yeah.
Let's
a lot of money.
If you have anything come back to you on a deal, they will always go right back to that contract.
Yeah.
So as you're starting, what I would suggest is write a contract. It doesn't have to be always the offer to purchase. On Monday, write an offer to purchase. On Tuesday, write the addendum A. On Wednesday, fill out a real estate condition report yourself. Physically do it, because then it embeds in your brain a little better. So when it comes time to write these contracts, you guys are ready, and you've at least done one a week, and have that practice. Because I say this all the time, my first offer to purchase took me 4.5 hours, and I was in competition with 3 other people. I had to change my shirt 3 times because I sweated right through everything. Oh, by the way, all the college kids were in my basement partying on a Friday night when I was upstairs trying to do this. So that was amazing.
You just want to bite anyone's head off too? Yeah.
I was a wreck. So Mike, I totally connect with you on this whole thing. So if I can suggest to everybody, physically fill out those contracts and write it for your neighbor, write it for your friend, write your neighbor's house up, write your mother's house up. Just practice writing those contracts, because the more you do it, the easier it gets. Now, I mean, I can throw together a contract in a half an hour, but it was literally 4.5 hours.
I'm looking at the chat too. So Katie said, I took the real estate exam beginning of March and joined KW Lake Country the day we essentially shut down. So not being able to do open houses, shadowing appointments, and my kids currently screaming in my ear. Yeah. Contracts. I started at the same time and not being able to do open houses and shadowing, disappointing. And then on the flip side of Connie, unrealistic buyer expectations are stressing me out right now.
Yep.
So that on the inability to shadow should be lifted. I mean, we're not doing open houses Memorial Day weekend, but I've got personally 4 that I'm doing next weekend, 4 open houses. We're going to start to do them very carefully. So only one group in at a time. They're going to walk in the front door and we're going to have them walk out the back door or side door, masks, all that kind of jazz. Have the seller leave all the lights on, open up cabinets, doors. So there should be some ability for you guys to start to shadow, I would think, not this weekend, but the following weekend. And I think that is huge.
I think so too. Well, and keep in mind that everybody, we are independent contractors, so we cannot put together a schedule for you guys or force you to do anything. It's your responsibility to find these things. And what I like to do, just being honest, in January, February, I was dead. I don't know what the heck happened, but I was dead. So I went through on MLS and I found every listing for my office, and I called one that I wanted to sell. And I called the listing agent personally and I said, can I hold 123 Main Street open for you? And he says, well, I guess so. And so you need to take the initiative to contact the listing agents to set up these showings and work your business. We can give you the tools, but you guys need to follow through with it also.
Yeah, and when you're new and you don't know someone or anybody and you're kind of been locked out because of COVID, it's
hard.
Okay, I'm going to just tell you, you cannot be shy. You just, if you don't ask for yourself, no one's going to lead you to the water. I mean, they aren't. It's a very independent business. So find someone that you really like and ask around, either Charlie or Diana.
Yep.
Who can I shadow? Because there are some really busy agents out there that would love for you to be their showing agent. I don't need for you to write anything up if you're brand new. I really would like for you just to show houses and open up the doors.
Mm-hmm.
So start there or put it on Facebook. I am a brand new agent. Can I tag along with you on a few showings? And I would be more than willing to volunteer to do showings for you, so I can get the experience. And you never know what will come out of that relationship. All I did was observe for the first 3 months. And then it's like, sorry, you're done. You're out. You have to go do it now. So just ask. Just ask.
Mm-hmm.
I have a quick question. Would you, in the beginning, how did you go about it in the beginning? Did you work also while trying to do real estate, or would you say it's beneficial to just go full into real estate?
Oh my gosh. I was working 20 hours a week, and then I was doing real estate. And it was really difficult because I felt like I wasn't doing either one of those really well. And then I found that real estate, the clients want you full-time. If they can't get a hold of you because you're at your part-time job, they're going to get frustrated and they're going to find someone else. Unless you have that position of your part-time job that you can respond quickly. I have done so many deals with agents that they do not answer their phones because they're at work at their other job. And it's been really difficult. It's just that you have to be prepared financially. And honestly, you should, if you're doing this full time, have a year's cushion, because it's going to take that long for most to really start making some decent money. Some do faster, but I would say on the average, give yourself a good year. Right? How did you start, Connie? Because you have a little different.
Yeah, well, I was doing hair. I come from the hair world. And I passed my exam on February 14th. So Valentine's Day gift to myself. Aww. And I stayed there until May 1st. And the 2 months that I was doing both, I just about lost my mind. It was a great weight loss program. But, you know, in between clients, I would check my phone and somebody would ask about a house. Somebody would want to see a house. I would have to schedule it when I was done doing hair or after. So then I started cutting back my hours because I started getting busier with houses. And it was just, I was a wreck, just trying to balance everything. And then when you get a deal going, I would stay up and do paperwork till midnight. And, you know, but it was nice with doing hair because I was in contact with, you know, 5 to 10 people every single day. And I told them what I was doing. So it really kickstarted my business. So it was very difficult, but I think it was worth it because, boy, I worked it hard. But I got my first deal, you know, in June right away. So
when you said you worked it hard, Connie, what do you mean by that? What did you do exactly?
I told every single customer who sat in my chair that I would be leaving in the middle of May, March, April, no, the 1st of May. And if they knew of anybody who wanted to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I was here for them. I took care of their hair, and I would love to take care of them too with their housing needs also. And I just had, you know, connections and contacts rolling through, but I had to open my mouth and tell every single person. So my cap is March 1st, and I had my first deal closed the first week of June. So that was really quick.
That's huge.
It was really quick, and then they just started rolling because I worked, you know, my client base quite hard.
Yeah. Okay.
So Connie, how did you balance not being too aggressive and salesy with your clients that you were working?
Oh, I talked with, when you're a hairdresser, you know everything.
Yeah.
You know women are pregnant before their husbands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, who's getting married, who's getting divorced, who's buying a house, who isn't, who needs a contractor. I mean, my base was built really, really well because of my referrals of electricians and plumbers and remodelers. Because when people would get their hair done, they'd say, well, I'd like to finish my basement. Who do you know? Oh, you got to call Mark Groth. He's the best guy. He'll talk your ear off, but he does really good work. So I would refer him out. So when I was asking for referrals in return, they were great. And that's what we have to do with our customers also, and our friends and our contacts. When you're contacting them, don't say, hey, I want to sell your house, or can I help you buy a house? What's going on? Oh my gosh, I want to remodel my basement. Do you have somebody? I've got this great guy who does remodeling, and so come from the heart with contribution, with helping them with other things, and they'll bring it back to you.
Yeah, I don't like to consider myself
a salesperson.
I'm actually, I didn't want to come across to the people that I knew. All of a sudden, I am now a salesperson.
Yes.
So I am giving service, and how can I help you? And it's your mindset, because honestly, it's not your past customers or friends' mindset. That's something that you need to eliminate. And it took me a while, to be honest. I felt somewhat uncomfortable with the whole thing. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I am giving them a ton of information. They're wanting to know what sold around the corner or down the street, or what would you do? What should I do to get my house ready? I wasn't a salesperson.
You're a consultant.
I'm a consultant. I was just showing a house to a guy that's been working with Jay. We both have like on and off tossing him around, and he's still looking for a house. And I met him for the first time in person a couple days ago. And we walked in this house and he's like, so what do you think? And I went, and I know a little bit about him. And I went, oh my gosh. Well, what do you think? And he's like, I don't know. And I said, all right, well, I know. I think you can do better than this. And he went, thank God someone is honest with me. I went, and we have been honest with him, but someone to be honest, be honest.
Mm-hmm. I think some of it too is because most of us here are new. It's the confidence, because we don't know everything and we don't have all those contacts with, like, you know, resource contacts kind of a thing, is learning how to fake it well.
Yeah, that's hard.
Agreed.
Totally. And I think that once this COVID thing is really lifted, the best suggestion I can give you is to shadow someone.
Yeah.
Be their helper. And believe me, I did it for free. I didn't want to be a pest, but I wanted to see different personalities, and you're going to find a lot of different personalities. And then you're going to figure out what works for you. But to shadow someone and see them in motion, and it's more than open houses. It's really going on listing appointments, going with them when they're showing houses so you get a feel for it. I mean, just be the observer for a couple weeks at least. That's going to be huge.
Well, and spending, when we can get back to the office, spending time at the office is very, very important, because you will see what's going on with different people and ask questions. Most people, I'm going to say 90% of the people at Keller Williams will help you out and tell you exactly everything that's going on. So when somebody is talking or working on a contract, when they hang up the phone, say, you know, I overheard you. What are you talking about with a problem with the basement, with your inspection? And have them explain that too, because the more you see what's going on, and actually Mary Beth is a good one. Mary Beth Milkey.
She's a rock star.
She's a rock star. She's doing really good. And Mary Beth spent a lot of time at the office. And with you being at the office, Mary Beth, I mean, can you put a price tag on that one?
No, it's, you know, you can read all the material you want and you can watch all the videos you want, but why would you try to recreate the wheel when other seasoned agents have already done it? And so you take bits and pieces. There's going to be some things you don't like that one agent does and another does, but you kind of pull those pieces together and create your own personal puzzle, and then you move forward. My brain tells me that I will never really stop asking questions in this industry, because every single transaction is different. Every person you're dealing with is different. Things that come up, oh my God, what the hell is that? You know, so I think you're always going to be asking questions. And if you're afraid to ask questions, that's going to hinder your performance greatly. And no question is stupid.
Yep.
You know, there is no question that's stupid. And if you feel that there is, just go, hey, I don't care. I'm asking it anyway, because I need to know what this answer is, because I don't want to look dumb and I want this to be right.
Mm-hmm. And with you being at the office, because you spend a lot of time at the office, did you hear bits and pieces of things that you learned so much from that you wouldn't even be asking?
For sure. And then that's what I took different bits and pieces from people to create my own puzzle. And I still am always listening. Oh, well, what happened there? What did you do? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I miss that. We used to run around with our laptops in our hands, just chasing other people around to spy on them.
Not kidding.
It was great.
I think more than anything that I need to have a routine and rhythm to my every single day. And that was one of my, I think, biggest struggles at first, is because I didn't have one, because all of a sudden I didn't have a set schedule. And then I felt like I was working all the time, or I wasn't working hard enough, or I was doing, I was doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So the first thing that I did that really got me on track and focused, because I think most salespeople, not all of them, but we do have a little bit of that ADD.
That's what makes us special.
That's what makes us special. I needed to keep on track. So, and this is something that I have stuck to for 6 years now. Every Sunday night, I have a sheet. It's just Sunday or Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. until 10 o'clock p.m. I literally put my me time in that entire week. Exactly what I'm going to do for me, not real estate, not my family, not my dog, for me. And I started it that way. And then I started filling in meetings, like my Tuesday 9 o'clock, our JSG, I would put all of that in. And then instead of lead generation, I would put in giving, meaning I am on the phone, I am networking, but I call it giving. To me, I feel better when I have that mindset. So I'm giving. So I put that in. And then my appointments come in around all of that. And I stick to my me time. I didn't used to, I'd give it up, but it is on your schedule. It is an appointment with yourself.
Yep.
So now I know I have my me time, I feel like I'm not getting ripped off. So I, that's really what's helped me. It just sets the tone for the day, and then I just do it. If I don't do my giving time, then at the end of the night, I feel like I have ripped myself off, and then I have to add it on somewhere. It may be giving in the morning and then giving, from 4 to 6 at night. So then I've made up for the giving that I should have done the day before. And consistent. I mean, very, very consistent with it. And if you have that schedule and you're doing the actual work, you will be successful. You just will. Mm-hmm. So maybe for those who feel uncomfortable with contracts, you're going to have an hour every day that I am just going to work on contracts. I'm going to print them out. I'm going to write them out, and then or whatever. And then I'm going to share it with somebody to look at and review.
Yes.
I do have a suggestion on the contract situation, because I too struggled with that in the beginning. And what I did was, once I got them printed out, I put a big S on the top. Those were my sample copies. So when it came time to actually write the contract, I just went to that sample to see what I did last time and populated the fields as needed. I knew that contract was correct because it had been checked by my mentor, even though it was a sample. And that just helped me. And I did it in paper form. I didn't go from screen to screen to screen. I just had an actual paper form sitting there. And I had every form that I needed. And I put in the booklet listings. I need this, A, B, C, D, E, right? For a buyer, I need A, B, C, D, E. And I had all those forms together. So I knew exactly what packet had to go in there and what was populated on every line. Just a thought.
I
So
like
what
that
you want
too.
is you want a sample of your offer to purchase with your addendum A, your wrecker, and your addendum S. You will need a Keller disclosure form. Then you would need a offer to purchase for a condo, offer to purchase for vacant land, and a offer to purchase for residential. That's a really good start for everybody.
Yeah.
So if you get those packets and do them like Mary Beth said, and that's what I did too. I don't know where you got it from. I literally had a manila folder with my samples in and did the same thing as Mary Beth. And then you can go back and refer back to it. And it just helps with your verbiage also.
Yep. I kept samples of everything. And because I would get offers and I think that's brilliant. I need to add this to my offer to purchase every single time. You know, if dates and deadlines land on a weekend or holiday, then, so, you know, little things like that. But getting the samples, I carry that around with me. I still probably have them on some kind of file somewhere because I need to look at it. Yep, so that's a great idea.
So a question came through, can we get this checklist so we can print it off? What you're gonna go do is go into zip forms and start a transaction and click on the packet. So it'll be the global residential offer to purchase packet, and it'll give you every form that you need. You can click on vacant land offer to purchase, and it will give you every form that you need. So we do have the resources here to look into it. So once again, I'll just kick it out there. You want your offer to purchase. You want your residential offer to purchase, your vacant land offer to purchase, your condo offer to purchase, and your residential listing packet. You can do a condo listing packet and a vacant land listing packet. So those would be your 6 packets that's what you're gonna be writing, basically, those 6 different types of offers and listings. And go right into zip forms and it'll populate all of your forms that you need for that transaction.
So can I ask for people that have been actually writing things and having real clients and things, how much are people doing it digitally? Because I know it's kind of gone that way more in recent events. How much do people do hard copy and have their clients actually sign on paper? And how many people are doing mostly everything digital?
Good question. I would say 1% will actually have it in person. And that's because
they don't own a computer.
Right, they're 93 and yeah. That is about it. Honestly, most of it is just sent over. So, and I love it that way because it gives you time in your own space to draft the paperwork, and it also gives an opportunity for you to have someone look it over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure that everything is, you know, correct, and then you can sign it over. I think, you know, even more so in this pandemic, it would be very unusual that anyone would want you to come over except for listing. That is different. Even so, I do a lot of the listing paperwork online.
Pre-printed out. So when you go to a listing, you will pre-print out your contract, but already have the address filled in, the owner's name. I fill in pretty much the whole contract except for the price, the inclusions and the exclusions.
Yep.
Okay.
That can change. You really don't know.
And that's even before we started this at-home order. I always do this. And even with writing offers, I always write them in the privacy because then I can think about it. So I have my 5 things that I ask for when I'm writing an offer. And then when I hang up, I'll say, I'm going to text you or call you back in about a half an hour when I have all the paperwork done. It takes me a little bit to, fill in all the voids on the contracts.
So then you go to a listing appointment and it's like the first time meeting and you're really just kind of talking, maybe checking off some things, and then you go back and send them the listing contract digitally.
No.
Yes?
No.
Okay.
I'm doing more in digital listing appointments, not even going to the house at this point because I probably sold it to them a couple years ago, so I don't need to go back. And like I just did one last night. Here's the paperwork. We've already discussed price. I'm confident that that's going to be the right price. Otherwise, I do what Connie has said. I always assume, even if it's just kind of a meet and greet, I'm assuming I'm going to be listing their house that day. I go with that mindset. What I like to do is once you get some Zillow reviews or whatever reviews that you have, and just keep this in mind because you're going to forget it when you are, starting to really do some business. I send that over first. This is what I've done in the past, and here are my reviews. I want, just so they know who they're dealing with and the experience that I want them to have. And then I send over a condition report. And that's it.
Okay, so before you go there, you send that condition. I was wondering like the process because it's something they have to check off.
Yep. And then I do send for me about our team and how we operate. But just to start out, even if it's just the condition report and maybe your biography and about Keller Williams, maybe just not too much, couple, 2-3 sheets, and ask them if they could have that condition report filled out before you get there. Mm-hmm. That's going to be helpful because then you kind of know, first of all, how organized they are, and you can put them into a category in your desk. We'll talk about that later. And then I have a pretty good idea of what that property is going to list for because I've asked them a ton of questions. I'll pull that house up to see if it was listed before. And if it was, what have they done since the time of their purchase? All their list of improvements, things to know, age of roof. I get all of that. Where they're going, when they're going, why they're going, how many kids they have, the whole shoot match. And so I have a really good picture in my mind. And then I'm going to run some comparables in the neighborhood. And I'm going to have in my mind a range of what I would list that house for. Then I'll go over there and meet with them and take a tour of the house. I write notes, and then I'll say, do you have time for a nickel tour? It's my favorite line. We go through the house. Then we sit at a dining room table or a kitchen table. Don't ever sit your rear end in a living room, on a couch or on a chair. It usually is never ending well. So don't do it. It's just, if you are doing business in presenting paperwork, I don't know what it is. It's like you just sink right down into that couch and it never goes anywhere, ever.
Janine, I have a question. So for your verbiage, if dates and deadlines fall on weekends or holidays, what's the remainder of that verbiage?
Then the date is for the next business day. Yep. Not a Monday, because a Monday could be
Memorial Day.
A Memorial Day. Yep. So the next business day. I literally almost got screwed over on something because the sellers wanted out of the deal and something was due what they thought was a Sunday, but the verbiage of the weekend was there. They called me Monday morning and were just so happy that we missed something and that they got us, like, gotcha. Because guess what? That was due at Sunday at midnight. And my heart dropped to the floor. And I pulled it up and I went, you guys, read line, da, da, da. And they went,
oh, geez.
Yeah. Yeah. It saved the transaction. So, okay, we got off on something. I'm reading. All right. So I used the KW helpline to help me finish the things I didn't know how to fill out on my contracts, and they were super helpful. I recommend. Yes. When a listing goes live, what material should be at the house for the buyers and agents to look at? Record, MLS sheet? Good question. Right now, we're really not providing anything at the home. I want everyone's mitts all over them. Yeah. But in normal circumstances, we put in like a binder, the condition report, an MLS sheet, things to know, and list of improvements. We're trying to get away from leaving all of this paper there because you know what? You don't need it. You'll see it, in the street or in the front yard. They've crumpled it up. It's just a really nice way for you two to interact more and get information from your potential buyer if it's an open house than to hand them a sheet. Also, we never put prices on our data sheets ever, because what we were finding is we put the prices on and then 2 weeks later we do a price reduction. It's like, oh Lord, now you can go back over to the house, grab the old sheets, put the new sheets in. We don't do that either.
I have a question. I'd like to go back on the zip forms. I have a hard time with that, especially, do you go into transactions and then start new? Or, I mean, because like, I tried doing that. I mean, I tried doing a mock with somebody and I sent it. And I can't remember how I did that because I was just basically just pushing buttons trying to get it over, and it worked, but now I can't remember how to do it. So I struggle with the zip form.
Yep. So what you're going to do is go into zip forms, and on the left-hand side, there's add a transaction. And you can put in the people's last name if you're working with buyers, or you can put in the address.
Okay,
and then go through.
So it's like excuse me, dashboard and then transactions. So I'm just going to hit transactions.
Hang on here. One second here. I'm signing in. One sec.
And our zip forms are completely aligned for our team. So Adrian, I can't help you with that. Ours are customized.
So,
right. Yeah, I found that. But it's like, you know, I'll hit transactions, then assuming start new.
Yep. So what you're going to do is, hang on here. Seems like a lot of people have questions on this. Do you mind if I put it up on the screen?
Put it on. Put it
yeah,
on,
sure.
baby.
Actually, that'd be perfect.
Hang on, I got to pull share screen.
I guess I was confused with like the packet that you were talking about, so I wasn't sure. Like what
You're
packet?
probably, in the beginning, I didn't realize it. It's like you have to pick the global packet.
Yes. So can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So when you come in through your zip forms, on the left here is a new with a plus. You're going to click on that and go through every step. The more you fill out in the beginning, the easier your transaction is. So let's say we're in a new purchase. So you're working with a buyer. Mr. Smith, the category is residential. Make sure to come down here to select template. This is the little secret to making everything really, really easy in your transaction. When you click on select template, you'll be coming into global residential offer packet, residential condo offer, listing, vacant land. Here's where all those packets are that I was talking about before to fill out and print out and put in your sample folder so you guys can refer back to it. When you pull up residential offer packet and save, it automatically puts in all of your paperwork and your contracts that you need for a residential offer to purchase. So as we're coming up here, now what I like to do is click on parties next. I'm not going to go through everything, but click on parties, and on the left-hand side, you'll fill in your buyer information, and it automatically puts this into your contract for you. So buyer 1, buyer 2, and when you slide down here, you are the selling agent. When you click on documents, zip, here we go. Here's your residential offer to purchase, your GMAR, addendum A. Here's your buyer agency, your disclosure. Here's that CV addendum. Here's a disclosure to your customers. Keep in mind, if you do not have a buyer agency, you'll fill out the disclosure. And going later on into your transaction, here's a notice, an amendment, a counter. Here's your home warranty brochure. Everything is right there for you to fill out. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
You are so welcome.
Thank you so much. That really was helpful because I was just so confused. I got it.
Then show, and maybe Adriana, this is one thing that you were talking about. If you wanted to send that to someone, how?
Yep.
So go to the next step.
Okay, so let's say we have your residential offer to purchase.
Okay.
Offering on, when you click on it, everything that's colored in these forms has to be filled out. That's your key on what to do in these contracts. Everything that has a colored box needs to be filled out. So May 21st, here's the address, 123, blah. Okay. When you're ready to have this signed and sent to somebody, there's an e-sign pencil on the left-hand side. Everybody can see this over here? Click on your e-sign. This tells you you're sending your residential offer to purchase. If you would like to send 2 documents, you can add another document and add your GMAR and your buyer agency. You can add them all if you'd like. And now you can see how they all pop in. And then on the top, you're going to hit next. This walks you through who you're going to be sending. If you have not filled in, in the beginning where we had our, when we filled in our customers' names. Whoops, what did I do here? It'll walk you through when you have your customers' names in there, when you filled out that first section. Does that help?
Yes, right, because it'll send to like buyer 1 and then buyer 2 and.
Correct. And then when you click on buyer 1, you can add their name and email there on that page. But like I said, it's much easier in the beginning when you go back and you fill in parties with all of their information. So when I put my name in here, whoops.
Cummings.
I learned how to type. When you put this in, it does the autofill. And then make sure to come all the way to the bottom and save.
And sometimes if you wanted someone to review this, then you would save it as a PDF and then you would send it over to whoever you're asking to review it. Also, sometimes before I have anyone sign anything, I'll save it as a PDF, download it, send all those documents over for them to review. And then they'll say, oh, you know what, we forgot to add blah, blah, blah. I'm going to take, so then I'll go back in and revise it. And then I'll say, okay, made the necessary changes. It is in your box to sign.
What's really nice also is you'll have different transactions that something weird happened. And the nice thing in zip forms is as you go down, when you have transactions, these are all of my buy and sell that I've done. They're all here and I can pull up, oh, what did I have? I mean, you can pull up one of these and say, oh, Antiquewood Court, I wrote in, what the heck was the verbiage on that? So Antiquewood Court was one of my closings last year. And I can pull up that offer to purchase that I did to see what I wrote or the verbiage that I used from 2018. So it keeps all of this in here for you.
Yeah.
So this was a duplex and my verbiage was 2 ranges, 2 refrigerators, 2 disposals, 2 washers, 2 dryers. And maybe I forgot how that verbiage went. I can go back and relook at things also.
And notice that it says 1 EDO. Somebody called me and said, what the hello dolly is an EDO? It's an electric door opener. So it's for your garage.
Yeah.
But that throws people off. And that, I mean, yeah. So just thought I'd point that out.
Perfect. Are we good?
Yes, thank you so much. I think what I did was I didn't fill I didn't go to the client as you did. That's
well, and
where
if you do not fill out that template, so the residential offer to purchase packet, then your contracts are not filled in automatically. And a lot of people miss that. It's not just one person. Everybody misses that the first time. So you just have to slow down and make sure you fill out every one of those little boxes.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then Connie, let's move into training and MLS training.
So with different things with MLS, with Facebook, with YouTube, we had our mentor meeting yesterday at our office with all of our mentors. And we were just going over different things that all the new agents said, well, how do I get this? And what about that? And Connie, can you sit down with me and explain to me MLS? And I was like, I could, but there are much better ways to do things. And for us to do individual trainings for you guys, we're here to help you and to, review your contracts, help you with different things that are needed. But there are a lot of resources that you guys should be taking to learn the trade, if you will. So the first thing I want to do is pull up MLS. Where in the heck am I here? Actually, first thing I'm going to do is pull up the May training calendar.
Yeah.
Has everybody seen this? Please say yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just entertain
me. Facebook if you have not.
Yes.
Okay. So the May training calendar has everything on here that you guys need for our North Shore office and our Lake Country office. The best thing about this May training calendar is up here. Look what they added. Isn't this cool?
Yes,
this is all
thank
of the
the
Zoom
Lord.
addresses.
So
for
much better.
all of your classes. So take note of that. And that's how you're going to pop into all these classes. These can be found. So everybody should be a member of the Keller Williams Milwaukee North Shore Facebook page, KWLC or KW Lake Country page, Keller or KW MKESW. So KW MKESW, which is our New Berlin office, the Southwest office, and Keller Williams or KW Germantown. Keep in mind, we all work together, and if there are any classes that anyone would like to take from other offices, it's actually great to have different instructors and different teachers and get their point of view. So please help yourself to any education that we have out of any of our offices. You are more than welcome. Now on the Facebook page, on the left-hand side, there's a tab of files. This May training calendar is in that tab of files when you go into that.
Can I stop you right there?
Yep.
Just real quick. Going back to the Facebook page, so there's always a lot of questions that I'm getting texts on. Who's a good asbestos remover, blah, 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 blah. If you go to Facebook, the KW Facebook page, there's a search, button. Put in whatever it is that you're looking for, asbestos removal, foundation. You're going to get a lot of responses through past posts, and that is the best resource because it's from all over the place, from many different agents, and we know that if it is consistent, they're probably pretty darn good. So, I always go there first because you're going to get most of your answers right there. Okay, I'm sorry.
Nope, you're good. You are good.
How do you do that?
So you go to the KW North Shore Facebook, and there is, search. It's the magnifying glass. So you put in whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever subject, and then all of those posts will pop up.
Oh, I see that. Perfect. Thank you.
Isn't that great? I know. I just learned that not too long ago.
See, we're always learning, even you big seasoned.
Yeah.
Oh, I am learning all the time. The next thing I wanted to show you guys is...
I have a question for you real quick. When we're writing offers, are you guys extending your deadlines because of this COVID stuff? Because I'm running into contractors not being able to get to the properties.
I haven't been. I think in the very beginning I did because there were some issues, but I have felt, I mean, personally, I have not had any issues with contractors. I mean, I feel like those contractors have always had issues.
Exactly.
I use someone else.
Okay, I would like to pull up the MLS page here. Okay, so when you come into, that's not the one I wanted. Hang on here, let me make it full screen.
I like your KW pink shirt, Connie.
Hey, thanks. This is my new summer my new summer uniform because I've gained weight at COVID and nothing else fits. Having issues, but that's a whole nother class. Okay, let me see if I can find, I'm trying to get the MLS page on here, and for some odd reason it's not coming up when I try and do the share screen. I apologize.
Is there a home button, or are you looking for the training video?
No, I have all these open, but I can't pull them up.
I wonder, let me see if I can. Oops.
Okay.
MLS. All right. Oh, wait, no.
I even tried closing some of my other things and it's not pulling up. So anyways, I can talk you through it. So when you go on MLS, there's a tab along the top that says member support. When you go into member support, there is, sorry, landscapers are here. Here's the problem with working at home. So when you go into MLS, there's a tab of member support. When you click on member support, there's a tab called resources. When you're in resources, you can click on classes. You can also, the nice thing about resources is you can look at the local markets, and many people have been asking, what's going on in Kenosha County? What's going on in Washington County? What's going on in Milwaukee County? What's going on in Whitefish Bay? You can pull up all these local markets and get the numbers that Charlie has for our meetings, and you can pull those right from MLS. Backing up and going to that member support tab, that's where all of your classes are listed for MLS. So you can do basic searches in MLS. Jackie, you're going to want to go on there right away as soon as you get your access. You can do your setup. So you can set up your whole MLS page. Make sure to put all of your information on there, including a picture. And if I can suggest to everybody, get a good picture, hire somebody. Make sure they have that young skinny button that they can push for you. Get a really good picture because your face is on everything.
Yeah.
And you want your face on everything because you want everybody to notice you when they're picking up your flyers and seeing your posts. So in that member support is where you're going to go to touch on all of that.
Is member support under menu?
Yep. On the top bar, it says member support. And that's where all the classes are.
And they're great classes. And it should pop up on your upcoming, they have them right on the front page, upcoming classes. There's one that's Introduction to Flex MLS. There's videos.
I think it's under guided help. I'm
Mm,
not seeing the,
I don't have a member support on mine either.
If you go to Metro
right
MLS,
under, it says Home Knowledge Base Member Support. It's right under, and I guess it depends on how your screen is set up with MLS, but mine just pops up to the right member login. So I haven't logged in yet. I'm just having, prior to logging in is all the resources.
Yes.
So don't log in.
Okay.
If you're logged in, automatically log out, and then go back into MLS, and then that full menu will pop up. Hours, their contact information, all of that. So sometimes you just automatically pop in to be logged in. Also, you guys, besides the MLS, if you're looking for more, and this may come in later in the game, there's some really, really great Facebook groups that you can be part of.
Yes.
And even though you may not think they relate to you, I have found, so I kind of dismissed them. So I thought, oh, I'm not an executive assistant. That's like the last thing in the world that I am great at. I joined the Executive Assistants Mastermind KW Mega Teams group. And I've got to tell you, I've learned more from that group. I think more than anything that I have joined, which is so bizarre, but it's called Executive Assistants Mastermind KW Mega Teams. And then from there, they have all of these great resources in other groups. And then Pivot Shift Ahead is another great one. It's aligned with, for you women out there, even men, I think it's like some of the top women in KW, and they have their own Facebook page and speakers that come in and how they run a team or how to become a successful agent. It's all over the board. Amazing.
Also at 7 o'clock in the morning, James Shaw does a live 30-minute chat on certain pages of the shift book. It's amazing. That's my 7 o'clock in the morning hot tub coffee thing. I just turn it on and listen to it, and it really gets my mindset for the day. It's called Pivot Shift Ahead, and James Shaw is on at 7 o'clock every morning. I finally figured this out, you guys. So I think many of you are on the MLS page to find your listings. This is the Metro MLS homepage. So it's metromls.com. Does that help you guys?
Yes, I found it.
Yeah, there's two separate pages. So I think everybody, if you did not have this member support, you guys were on the MLS page for looking for your listings. So this is the Metro MLS homepage. Right here is member support. If you do this member support drop down, there are manuals, there's your video library, here's your webinars and your training classes. On the bottom here, they always list the classes for the next week also that you can, all you have to do is click on them and you can join them. And they're doing everything remotely now. The next thing is resources. You can look for office rosters, rules and procedures, links. This is my favorite right here, local markets. And I'll just go right through this so we can see. This gives you your market indicators and your reports and your monthly, your housing supplies. These are all your numbers if you want them from past months. So we can do local market updates for April. Is this following through for you guys?
Yep.
Okay. Local market updates for April.
You jinxed it.
Yeah, you're on a roll. There you go. Oh.
Oh, actually, it comes down to the bottom of the screen, which I don't know if it'll take it. Okay, and then you're going to have to open a zip file, and you can choose what city you would like and pop up those local market updates, monthly indicators, and housing supply. And it breaks it down to Lake Country. It breaks it down to Delafield. It breaks it down to different parts of Milwaukee. It's actually really, really cool, especially when you're going in for your listing appointments. I'm glad I finally got on here because this is a good thing to get into. So this is metromls.com.
Connie.
Yep.
How did you, hold on. How did you share your screen? So I pulled up MLS, but then I went to the share screen.
Yep.
And it didn't.
Okay, let me stop share. Maybe you can get in now. Share screen, and then it brings up all those little icon pictures, and you have to find it in those boxes. That's where I was having problems before.
All right, hold on. Let me just pull something up. Sorry, you guys. All right, so I pulled it up. Oh, now my. Oh, now my MLS is like, all right, never mind. I'll work on it. Oh, maybe because my battery's about to die.
Bye, Janine.
No, I'm here. I'm going to go plug myself in somewhere.
What was the name of that executive assistant mega something or other?
It is called Executive Assistance Mastermind KW Mega Teams.
Wow.
And you have to, you'll put in your information and then, what your role is, which it really does not matter what it is. And then they have to accept your invitation.
Right, okay.
But they will. And it's really a great resource. And what's really cool about these private Facebook groups is that they have files. So everything that they've talked about, everything they share is in a file which you can download. I have learned a ton just what other people are doing in other areas of the country. And honestly, that's where we have learned and done some things here locally that no one's done before, and it stands out. So if you can just take one thing away from what another agent or team is doing and incorporate it, it's really super cool.
Perfect. The next thing I wanted to show you is, I'm not sure if everybody has been on here, but Keller Williams Realty Milwaukee, we have our own YouTube channel. Woohoo!
Yes,
so go into youtube.com and I just search Keller Williams Realty Milwaukee, and you can subscribe to it. And here is the coolest thing, is here are all the videos and classes. Ta-da! So if you miss a class, and I know we were talking, we do have some people who are a little challenged with their spouses being furloughed or financial situations right now. If you're working during any of these classes, or even better yet, if you have an appointment during these times, you can always go back and, you know, click on these launch coaching classes. I'm kind of scared to go back and look at the productivity coaching because every once in a while I say something I probably shouldn't. So there we go, launch coaching, dog snoring. So anyways, this gives you guys another connection.
Oh. Are some of them, are you fostering, or are they all?
I remember that one.
Fostered at first and then you could let them go? Only one. Oh, okay. The foster was 45 dogs. I lost track. I only have one of those, but the other one.
Anyways, oh my gosh, it's still on, isn't it?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because that would be tough to let them go. I know it's the right thing to do, but.
One thing I did learn through a Facebook group, they were talking about taking your contacts in Facebook, and if you wanted to get their physical address, they said go on True People Search. And I haven't done it. I just was reading about it this morning, and it will give the physical addresses to the people that you're looking for. True People Search.
Did you say that's on Facebook, Janine, or is that on?
I just started off a group Facebook page that talking about, your database and how to complete it for command. And someone chimed in, go to True People Search, and that will give you all of the physical addresses of your Facebook friends.
No kidding.
No kidding. Now, I haven't tried it. This just happened. I haven't done anything with it yet, but.
The coolest thing about being realtors is we can be so creepy and people don't know how we find them.
Creepers. When someone calls me to say, oh, I'm thinking about listing my house, I'll, hopefully I'm in front of my laptop. What's your address? And then I put it right into MLS to see if I can get anything. If not, then I'll go into taxes and I'll say, oh, so you live at so-and-so. What? I go, yeah, I just put it in, and they're already super impressed.
Yes. Another great resource is RPR.
Yes.
Realtor Property Resource. You can find out their mortgage. You can find out if they took a second out on their house.
Yeah.
Which I know sounds really creepy, but if you go to a listing appointment, and I've said this before, if you go to a listing appointment and somebody is so set on a price, there might be a reason, and you should have a little compassion in their heart. Maybe they had hard times, especially with everything going on right now. Yeah. And they took a second mortgage out of their house, and they really have to get that top dollar. It's not that they want to be greedy and make all this money, but maybe they needed that extra $30,000 to live off of because they lost their job or they were furloughed or what have you. So by doing a little bit of background before you go in for your listing appointments, you can see where people are at, and if they are mortgaged up, to really try and get them that top dollar or explain why they can or can't.
Yeah. One of the biggest teams, very successful teams, is the Lance Loken Group out of Houston, Texas. And I've been taking their listing domination group coaching class. Amazing. And he was interviewed, and the first question that was asked was, what's your secret sauce? Like, how did you become so successful? You've met Lance, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And this is his answer. Pick up the phone and call. That's it. And then he has this motto, TAN, T-A-N, take action now. So your calls, your service calls, or whatever you want to call them, it's just picking up the phone, doing the work. This is the perfect time just to reach out to people and see what's going on. I took Monica Reynolds, who is the president and CEO of the MAPS Coaching. She was in a webinar that I was taking. I absolutely love her.
She's a hoot.
She's a hoot, and woo! I've met her in person a few times, one-on-one. She takes no prisoners.
No, she doesn't.
Nope. Just to give you
There's one lady I'm afraid of. I would have to say it's Monica Reynolds.
Yeah, so I was in a mastermind group with her, and there was maybe 100 people, and this was at Mega Camp or whatever. Someone stood up in the group. Were you there?
I was sitting right next to you.
Oh my God, you guys. Some agent literally said, I think I'm in the wrong class. I think this is for assistants only, right? Wasn't that right, Connie?
No, she was an assistant. She says, I think this is, for team leaders only. So yeah. I think I'm in the wrong class.
And Monica, but she literally left her seat in this crowded room to come up to Monica and say this to her as she was grabbing her. Anyway, Monica railroaded her. And it became very uncomfortable. And I thought, you do not want to get in this woman's way.
And I was sitting next to Monica's assistant in the front row.
Yeah. So she's, I think, in her early 70s, and she ran teams. She wrote the book, The Perfect Real Estate Assistant, which is a great course. But long story short, she was just kind of going over, her webinar was about preparing you for 2021, preparing the real estate agent for 2021, and about adjusting goals. And she said that she is not adjusting her goals. She's adjusting her lead generation and her business plan, but she's not adjusting her goals because of COVID. So I needed to hear that, because I'm already thinking, oh, well, I've had, a slower month now, so I'm going to adjust my goals back to this. And then when she said that, I went, oh, I guess I'm not going to be doing that. I am not going to be adjusting my goals. I'm just going to be adjusting my calendar so I can speed up my lead generation. But her back to basics approach is, you cannot get into this business and be successful unless you are really nurturing your database. Yep. So if anything else, get your database in order and make that a priority, that you should be tripling your database by the end of 2021. It should be tripled from what it is now. And that's going to be my goal. I'm going to triple it. So back to basics, positive mindset. I don't know if any of you do a gratitude book, but that always helps at the end of the day. But sticking to a schedule, and don't let it shift. If you protect it. If it's not on your schedule, it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Connie?
Yep. Get your schedule done first.
What is your 2020 goal for units in production?
I am behind, and I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah.
I had a really slow start to the year. So my goal is 9,035,000 units.
Okay. And do you think you're going to achieve that?
I'm behind. I'm behind. I'm actually at, I'll be capping next month, and I'm at, I'm at 8 units.
Okay. So I think next week we should focus on everyone come with their goal for 2020. What is your production goal, and how many units is it going to take you to get to that goal?
Yeah, I'm at 8 units and 4 million right now.
Okay. And then divide that up. Is it going to be how many buyers and how many sellers? And then I can share with you our team, what our goals are, and a couple individuals that will permit me to do that, what their goals are. And we have it broken down: units, production, buyer, and seller. And we look at this every single day, individually, of what that is and what do I need to do, because it helps you prepare your schedule then for that week and the following week. Because if it's not in front of you and it's just kind of floating out there, it's not going to happen.
Well, and you should have a goal, because if you don't have a goal to achieve, you don't know what you're working towards.
Right.
So vision boards, I make a new vision board every year. I have something silly on there that somebody really probably shouldn't have on there, but you know what? I want it. And if I hit those numbers, I deserve that little Mercedes.
Yeah, you do.
And maybe it's a vacation with your family and kids. Maybe it's paying off your credit cards. Start with things that need to be done, that are achievable, but put something fun in there for you too. A new dress, new shoes. When I first started, every closing I bought a new pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Just because, to do something for yourself. Yes, you had bills to pay, and you always have to put money away for taxes and what have you. But my first year, every closing I had, I bought a new pair of shoes. So I had 12 new pairs of shoes my first year.
Yeah. And I put my vision board in my closet. So every time I go in there to pull something, I'm in there all the time. I look at it all the time. I used to keep it in my bathroom. It's in front of me. We started doing vision boards with our kids when they were little on New Year's Eve. They work.
Connie, I want to get that hot tub so I can start my day out like you.
There you
know what? You know how Janine said she has her me time? That is my me time. And people say, oh, I have a hot tub and I never used it. I use it. Well, I use it more now because I don't work out in the mornings, hence the reason why, but me and a cup of coffee by myself in the hot tub in the morning is just what am I going to do for the day? What is my plan, my thinking? Sometimes I take out my journal and I journal. Okay, I've kind of dished that the last month, I'm not going to lie, but I got to bring it back.
Well,
We all have highs and lows and ups and downs, but to do something like Janine said for yourself, I think is very important, because as we start dealing with buyers and sellers, we give a lot, and they'll suck the life out of you, and you will become an alcoholic quicker than you know what hits you. That's terrible to say, sorry. But, there are some people, and I have, Janine, I finally have an offer on my 93-year-old man.
Thank God.
Here we go, guys. 5 weeks on the market, 40 showings, and 7 offers.
Jeez, us loves you.
He wouldn't accept any of them. He wouldn't counter any of them, because that's what it's worth, and I'm getting full price.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, he's 93. Did I say that? And he doesn't own a computer, so I have to hand deliver everything. And it was so cute because the first day I sewed a bunch of masks when this all started. And the first day I had a mask in my pocket and I said, do you have a mask? And he said, no, I don't. So I gave him one. He wears it every single time I come over.
Aw, he likes
the cutest thing.
you.
But 40 showings and 7 offers.
Yeah.
What's the hourly rate on that?
Yeah.
I'm at about 72 cents an hour.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding. I put less time into $1 million properties than I have this 259.
Oh, I believe that. I had a $129,000 property, and it was an estate. I had 7 offers, and it was a referral. So, okay, now we're down to like basically no. I think I'm actually going to pay them to close.
Yeah.
And it literally sucked so much time to review these offers and present it. It's crazy. But I know that I'll get something back from that. What I do, you guys, is when I start my day and I'm going out and talking to clients on the phone or whatever, I put on, I've said this 1,000 times, I put on my Ninja Turtle visually, like I'm putting on my gear, because it's not going to get me. I'm going to be strong and confident, and really nothing is going to bother me, no matter what anyone would say to me, because there's going to be some really somewhat pushy people, and I'm just going to react with kindness. And if they don't accept that, and I've tried everything I can, then I've done my best. But when people react, we've talked about this before, emotionally, then you come back with logic. Yes. And if someone is extremely logical, I just took over a listing from someone. This guy, the seller, is an attorney, and he is very logical. And I'm not having open houses. I don't want a lockbox on the property. And I'm just listing him, and I said, I understand where you're coming from, but did that work for you when you had it listed with so-and-so? No. So this is how people think. Agents really don't want the listing agent to be in the property when they're deciding if this is going to work for them or not. Yep. We found that they're in the property, 30% less time, and it's actually not a benefit to you. You want to get your place sold? This is what we're going to need to do. And he said, oh, okay. And I said, so therefore we're putting a lockbox on, and we will not be present for showings. He said, oh, okay. So I had to go around emotionally. If I was logical with him, it would have never gone anywhere. So it's cat and mouse. And yeah. All right. So next week we'll post it. Your 2020 goals. And it doesn't matter what they are. It could be 3 transactions. It doesn't matter. It's your goal. Everyone's coming from a different place. And then 3, your units. So how many transactions? What is the total production number? How much is it that you want to sell? And are they going to be buyers or sellers? And of course, it's going to be made up if you don't have any production, but it is going to help you then plan your calendar and how you can systematically reach that goal. Does it sound good?
Yeah. So I've had many new agents ask me, how do you set a goal? Where do you start? I don't even know what's $1 million. What's
Right.
$2 million? And when you start, you really have no realization. So out at our Lake Country office, just to give people a heads up, and Janine, you might know by us, our average sale price is $300,000. We do have higher, we do have lower. I was talking to a friend yesterday and she asked me what my average sale price is. And I said, my average sale price is $380,000. She says, what? She says, you're not at like 600 or 700 or 800. And I said, no, actually, because I deal with first time home buyers, my friends' kids. Do I like the $100,000 ones? Yes and no. There's pros and cons to everything. But I do a lot of 250s.
Yeah.
People will say,
that up, Connie.
Well, and people will say you should sell the most houses in what you live in. Well, I don't sell all $750,000 houses. There's just different things going on that bring your numbers up or they bring them down. So as an average, Lake Country, we have our average sale price is $300,000. So if that helps you guys out a little bit. So at $300,000, at 3% commission, so that's the average of 2.4 on your buy and 3.6 on your sell. So your average commission on a $300,000 property is what? 3 times 3 is $9,000. So that'll give you guys just a little bit of background on when you're setting your numbers.
Yep. And you may even want to go a little bit below that average for Lake Country, especially your first year or anywhere, because you
tend to get lower deals when you start.
Yeah. And you probably, I think you get the most bizarre deals when you start. Like people say, has this ever? No. Has this ever? No, it's never happened. I've never seen this before.
And you're in 6 years.
And don't freak out because it happens to everybody. It's like, has this ever happened to you? And honestly, no, but something else has. So, yeah. All right. So your transactions, how many? Buyers and sellers, how many? And your total production. And we're going to talk about that. And
if you're looking to cap, 3 million is your cap-ish.
Yeah.
To give you guys a number.
So
awesome.
Just have those in mind because that's just, we need to know what that is. And then I'll share some from our team and where we're at and go from there. And then, of course, any questions that you have, we'll address those too.
Yep. Are we good? We covered a lot again, you guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you so
Have
much.
a good holiday.
Thank you. Yeah, have a great holiday. Nice long weekend.